Hey y'all, today I am doing a how to curl your hair with a wand tutorial. I had a request for this and I'm sure some of you already have wands and maybe don't have curling iron. You can use any wand that you have. This is the babyliss one. I don't think you can probably get this exact one, but I know Hot Tools has wands with the cool tip. So if you're looking to purchase one, I would try to purchase one with a cool tip, not one that is the hot barrel all the way through. If that's what you have, that's okay. Just avoid that area. Just hold the hair further away. Again, anytime you're using a hot tool, if you're using it for the first time or if you're trying to get the hang of it, try it on a really, really low heat setting. And even with a wand, try it when it's completely cold first to kind of get the hang of it, because it feels funny until you get used to it. See how I curled my hair like this with a wand? Then keep on watching. Alright, so I'm gonna get started with how to curl your hair with a wand. So I have had this wand forever, and if you watched my curling iron video, I have an assistant in here with me. If you saw my curling iron video, I said in there I don't really like a wand, but I do have some tips and tricks on how to use one. So this one I've had forever. I don't even think you can buy this, but it doesn't really matter what you have necessarily. It's just the tips and tricks. Sig. Oh my god. Mister, you're gonna have to take that out of here, okay? Babyliss, I got this. I think I got this for free with the first hairdryer that I ever bought for the salon. So it's a Babyliss Nano Titanium and it's a tapered wand. I wouldn't necessarily recommend a tapered wand. Use whatever one you have. Okay, I like to always start out when I'm curling or straightening with a heat protectant, and I like the Verb Ghost Oil. This is exactly what I used in the other video. I'm doing the exact same thing. And I also just filmed another video with this eyeshadow look. If you want to see that, I don't know which one will go up first. Just keep my wet brush close by to make sure there's no knots, but I brushed it right before I started, and then I always like to use a clip. I used this in the last video, but I don't even think I said what it is. It's a scunsy clip that you can get at drugstores, but it has like a little bit of like silicone on the inside, and it works really, really good. If you need to replace your clips at home, check these out. I'm gonna section. Couple of things I do differently when I use a wand versus a curling iron. Section my hair and bring it all forward. It's just a lot easier to see if it's here instead of like trying to twist and see what's behind your back, in my opinion. So I usually start from the back. I take the wand and I hold it upside down. I think this is the easiest way. Upside down. Wrap it around, and this specific Babyliss one has a cool tip, so I like to anchor my hand there. A lot of ones don't have that, and that's one reason why I don't like them. So of course, if it doesn't have that there, that you can easily burn your fingers. I don't wrap all the ends up because I don't like the way it looks, and it's so easy to burn yourself. Let it go. And then usually I get a tighter curl with a wand than I do with a curling iron. So I'll just kind of pull on it just a little bit and then go on to the next section. I try to get this part of the wand as close to my head as possible. Usually you can even rest the part, not the barrel that's hot, but the other part against your head just to give your hand some stability. And that's the curl. When I go to the other side, I use a wand a little bit differently than some people do, and it looks a little bit crazy, but I think this is the easiest way. Might be too hot. It is. On the other side, this is a cute little tail I got going on. I use my left hand, and I also flip it upside down. So it looks the exact same the way that I hold it on both sides, but I actually hold the wand, the handle part, with my left hand. I used to try to do it all with my right hand, but I felt like I was fighting with the wand, and it was just like so awkward, so I think it's so much easier this way. And I wrap the hair away, the same with the curling iron. You always want to wrap on top of the wand, if that makes sense. It's just easier, and then it keeps everything going away from your face. This side is way too tight for me. Sometimes when I use a wand, I heat up my flat iron too. So these are a little bit tight. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly run my flat iron over just to relax them just a little bit so they match better with this side. I just don't like my ends curled. So if you do, try to wrap them, but it's very easy to burn yourself, so please be careful. I'll start with this side, so hopefully it's easy to see. Hold it with my left hand, and really this cord should be behind me. One thing that's the same with the curling iron and the wand is the larger section that you'll take, the looser the curl will be. So you can tell that one was really loose, but it looks like it did not heat up enough. So I'm gonna have to take part of that section and do it again. You can see I use the cool part a lot. So if you have a wand without that, just ignore what I do. Thing with the tapered wands as well, it also your hair wants to slide down a little bit more than if it was one size all the way through. I'm gonna section off the very front, like my shortest pieces. I'm still gonna keep that sectioned off. It's kind of wanting to part to the side, so I'm gonna do that. And I think in one video I talked about my cowlick, and you can really see it today, and I hate this about my hair. Probably hold it for like 8 seconds or so. And I'm just doing everything away from the face on each side. I do not have the heat up very high. I think the highest heat is 50 and I have it on 35. I don't know how they determine that heat dial, but the same with anytime you're curling or straightening or anything with your hair. If it's the first time, you want to turn that heat down lower because it's going to take you a little bit longer than however you're used to in your hair. In the salon, I am using, hot tools several times a day, so I can usually move pretty quickly. It's like muscle memory for me. You can tell each side where I pulled the hair forward, everything's going away. Now it's parting pretty far over, so I'm gonna need to kind of section this off. So I'm just gonna put it to this side for now. And you could use a clip for that too if you want. I'll do 2 more curls. That one didn't do as well. So I'm just going to go back to where the area that it didn't curl and do that again. it doesn't take very long to fix it. When I started using the opposite hand to do the opposite side, whenever I used to use the wand a lot, when I started doing that, it's just helped me so much, because if you're trying to use this hand and wrap, you're already in an awkward angle and you're like trying to hold it away from your head, and then use all of your, you know, arm to do this side. It's just, I think that's way too difficult. So it's easier just to use the opposite hand. But try that on your head without heating your wand up first, just to make sure that you can kind of get the feel for it. Everything's curled in these sections. So now I'm gonna let my shortest pieces down. If you have bangs, please don't do that with a wand, because you will burn this very fragile area. My bangs are pretty, I mean, they're not really bangs, they're more of like a face framing layer. So when I use a wand, I like to do it a lot looser around the face. So I'm gonna place the wand, wrap it maybe twice. I'm not trying to get as close to my head as I was with the other curls throughout my head. Leave it for a few seconds and let it go. And anytime I curl around my face, I like to kind of pull on them while they're warm to relax it a little bit more. Now, like I said a minute ago, I have a lot more hair on this side, so I may have to kind of section this. Most of these pieces I'll probably just be wrapping twice. And then whenever they're warm, I just pull just a little bit just to relax it. This section was probably a little bit too big for my wand. This piece didn't get curled really at all. I'll just go back and wrap this. And this is the last piece. So now it's all curled. You may be able to tell that with the wand, I think it's a little bit more natural looking. It's a little bit more inconsistent. Each piece is a little bit different. Whereas with the curling iron, almost all of it looks the same. The thing that I have a hard time with on myself is I let my hair naturally air dry, so I have some natural wave right here, and I can't get the wand close enough like I can with the curling iron to kind of smooth it. I can't do that with the wand. So that's when I heat up my flat iron, and I'll just go in just with a little bit of heat just to smooth that out. I usually let my hair cool, and then I just run my fingers through it. Now when I use a wand, I really like to tease my hair. Teasing comb that's had a lot of love from, I think it's from Sally's. It's called Amped Up by Cricket, and it usually has a pick on it, but I broke one off. And especially when this cowlick is acting up, I like to go in and tease just a little bit. So I'll show how I do that. So I just took a section at the crown of my head, pull it forward, and then start about halfway through and back comb. Now you don't need to be violent with this, and look how much volume. And then I usually just go on the sides around where I tease and do a little bit more. So I think the wand gives a little bit more of like a messy, kind of beachy look. A wand also works really well if you have naturally wavy or curly hair and you just want to add a couple to what you already have. I think it works awesome for that. Now I have a few flyaways, so I'm going to use my favorite hairspray at the moment, which is the Amica Fluxus. And that's it. Now, if you have shorter hair, a texture spray is awesome for if you use a wand or even a curling iron. So since I used dry shampoo in the last video, let me get some texture spray and I'll do that. This is the Kenra dry texture spray. And what I'll do is just kind of, whereas the dry shampoo you want to lift and spray at the root, the texture spray kind of throughout the hair. With any product, hairspray or anything, you want to use short burst. These products are not meant to saturate the hair. If you have fine, soft, naturally straight hair, texture spray will really help, especially if your hair is shoulder length or above. With longer hair, it can kind of tangle it sometimes. And then I kind of just take my hands and work it through. And look how big. What it does is it just kind of separates the curls just a little bit. And that's it. Let me show the back. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope you will maybe try curling your hair with a wand, or if you already have a wand, maybe you'll try some of these techniques. And I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.